Hi, good evening to all of you guys. Am I audible? Am I audible, visible? Yes or no? So I'll be taking today's session, guys. So good evening to all of you once again and Happy New Year. We are meeting for the first time in this new year, 2021. Am I audible, visible, guys? No reply from your side. Is my voice reaching all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is.
Okay, fine. So in this, we shall be talking about TISSNET, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, providing MA courses. And we shall be focusing on three very important topics: completion, correction, and comprehension. Completion means fill in the blanks, correction means grammar, and comprehension, as we all know, means RCs. Why we picked up these three topics, we'll come to know. So let's start with today's session. So how your preparations are going on? Because ultimately the deciding factor would be the GK a little. So how your TISSNET preparations are going on, guys? Fine?
Started with the basics.
Started with the basic GK?
Yeah.
Yeah, GK, because it has a lot of economic development, social scheme, socio-economic, socio-political issues, geopolitical issues. No doubt current affairs also would be there, but primarily they move around as per the essence of this course entire institute in Tata Institute of Social Sciences. So they would be more interested in knowing your aptitude in these areas rather than just looking at the balance sheet and profit and loss. So guys, we should be taking up the pattern, components, and strategy. Let's start with today's session. So this is a pattern. If the font size is, I'm hoping that font size is now visible. So TISSNET consisting of the two very important components. First TISSNET you have to take, then after those who are shortlisted, immediately after this you'll be going for TISSMAT, and then the procedure will start later on, the pre-interview test, and then your interview. Probably this time it would be online. So if you look at the TISSNET, the very first step that we all have to clear is your consisting of three important subjects: English 30 questions, mathematics and logical reasoning 30 questions, and general awareness GK 40 questions. Total marks 100, 30, 30, 40. And sectional cutoff in English, no, not required. Mathematics not required, but in GK, yes. 14 marks for general candidates and 12 marks for reserved candidates. Preparation level, no doubt they generally write that it would be up to 10th class, but sometimes we find twists and turns in the questions. It's very important to know the pitch where match is to be played and what should be our strength and weaknesses accordingly. So it's very important. So assessing now, if we look at the components, primarily we shall be focusing on the English part today. So if you look at the components, and if you look at the components, you will find you'll find confidence bubbling in you that it has only word choice, sentence correction, I mean grammar based, odd one out, analogy, synonyms, antonyms, grammar, verbal reasoning, reading comprehension. If you look at all these areas, these are all very basic conventional English areas that you will find in any competitive exam. Let it be TISS or let it be any SNAP or SNAP last lot happened today, 9th. So any other competitive exams you talk about. So more or less the areas are same. But why we need to focus on the three very important areas? Okay, now looking at the TISSMAT. Now in 2021, as you already are aware of, so they have changed the pattern a little. Earlier we used to have 15 questions, a total 45 questions comprising 15 English, 15 management and data interpretation, and 15 GK, business awareness. But now they have reduced the number of questions in English. It has come down to 10 questions only, and business awareness has again come down to 10 questions. So 10, 15, 15, but there's one element they have added in this TISSMAT this year would be descriptive writing. More or less it's called essay writing at the same time. So your skills in terms of your level of comfort in this language should be fine. And this we all know, that you can read English well, you can speak English well, you can write English well. But when it comes to essay writing, then we need to be careful about the first of all the organization part, and then the content part, and primarily the logic or the substance in whatever you're writing. So descriptive writing, people generally take this lightly, but should not be taken lightly. Descriptive writing, very important. So one issue, one topic would be given to you. We are not aware of the pattern yet, means they'll be giving us 2 or 4 topics, and we have to select one of the topics. But for sure, I'm assuming that they'll generally, it's like out of 2 we have to select the 1, out of 3 we have to select 1. At the max it has to be 1 out of 4. So total marks in this again would be 15. So this time they would be checking this. You have to be this. You will be writing this, typing on the computer, and or whatever. Right now we are assuming that mode would be online in case of descriptive also. So essay, again, technicalities definitely are there. Intro, conclusion, intro, body part, 3 body paragraphs, and in conclusion, etc. But again, it moves around your knowledge of what is happening around. So I'm leaving aside descriptive writing also for a while. So TISSNET is equally important. Once you clear this, then you'll be able, you'll be shortlisted for interview part. So TISSNET, and after TISSNET, so and if you look at TISSNET, the English part is consisting of only RCs. So they used to give, till last time it used to be 8 plus 7 question, 2 RCs, 8 question and 7 question correspondingly, consecutively, respectively, and 8 plus 7, 15. But this time they have given only 10 question. They are thinking of giving, they have already announced this. So it would be, I'm assuming that 2 RCs, 5 plus 5 each. So now guys, if you look at the overall selection procedure, TISSNET is given 30% weightage, your score. TISSNET would be given 40% weightage, and online personal interview would be given 30% weightage. And from these 100% total, they'll be preparing final merit list. And if you look at the major flagship course, that HRM Wala and other such course, so out of 100 it has to be 74 plus bare minimum. Below this, you'll not get your desired course, because I'm assuming that you all are going for HR, those who are interested in HR. Otherwise, there are 60, 70 plus MAs they are offering, but flagship, labor relation, HR, and one more. So for this, because those, and I'm assuming that you all are MBA aspirants, and you have taken you're taking this, writing this exam, you will be writing this exam just to get into the HR side of the corporate sector. So that's what I'm assuming. Marking relative, Raj, relative means 1 mark each question, and in TISSNET we do not have negative marking. The advantage is TISSNET we do not have negative marking, but in TISSNET, yes, 1 mark for every question, and 1/4 negative for every, except descriptive part, except descriptive part. So strategy focus, guys, is very important to focus on our time management entirely, because ultimately, no doubt, this paper doesn't carry any negative marking scheme. But point is that we will get the score if we solve the questions correctly. That is more important, rather than looking at, okay, this paper doesn't have the negative marking, so we can go. We are free to express ourselves as per the constitutional right given to us by the Constitution of India. No. Omkar, then for you would be anything between but Omkar, again I will stress on reaching 70 at least. Otherwise, the courses which you have mentioned, they probably you will start getting after 60 plus. And they are very particular about the interview. That written is very simple. Written is very simple if you look at written part. But if you look at the interview part, they really grill you, because they are not money-minded people. First, the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, the very essence, the very DNA of this institute, and they're not bothered about the corporate sector, profit loss, balance sheet, etc. So at the At the time of interview, they generally probe candidate whether he or she is only going for the package. Likewise, we belong to developing economy. So during interview also, we all try to give this answer, sir, what you will do after MBA, sir, what you will get after doing MBA, sir, decent salary. And what else you will do with decent salary, sir? I'll buy decent car, decent bungalow, decent other such areas, and one decent life partner also I'll be able to get because of this certificate called MBA. So they're not bothered about these kind of immature logical argument generally we have in our minds at the time of interview. So they're particularly looking at the aptitude for this particular course from service sector point of view, from that what we call seva bhav point of view. They're not bothered about the corporate sector. If you look at the philosophy of even Tata, then you will find huge difference between Tata versus rest of the corporates. A little similar to Tata's mentality, Ratan Tata I'm talking about, you'll find Wipro, Azim Premji, and Satyanarayana Murthy. Otherwise, I haven't found anybody even even an iota of similarity between Tata and rest of the corporates here in India. That's what the greatness of Tata. And you will be surprised to know that this is the only institute and this is the only corporate which started actually Tata Cancer Research Institute, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, scientific research also. Great. So you are preparing for this STEM institute. So guys, if you look at English proficiency, the breakup part, reading comprehension 10 questions the last time, spotting there are grammar based 3 questions, synonym 3 questions, parajumbles 2, sentence arrangement, antonyms 2, fill in the blanks. Now look at the 3 areas, 3 prominent areas. If you want to score well in verbal, then RCs, comprehension. Then we have got fill in the blanks called completion, and then the third prominent area would be, no doubt, vocabulary would be their synonym and antonyms. But in case of synonym and antonyms, either we know the answer or we do not know the answer. That's what the beauty of vocabulary. It's just like GK. Either I know the question, I know the answer, or I don't know the answer. But for the rest of the things, still I can rely on my understanding, my level of comfort with this language. For example, in RCs, we have to read and understand and answer the couple of questions. Grammar based on tricks and fundamentals. Sentence completion based on the contextual understanding of the given sentence and the vocabulary. So these 3 areas are very, very important if you want to score well. That's why the session's name, completion, correction, and comprehension. So let's look at a little bit of these 3 areas. So strategy, first of all, we should know our strong and weak areas. So I would recommend that please take 1 or 2 mocks so that you will come to know about your strong and weak areas in all the 3 areas, especially the English one I'm talking about. And you should learn how to select or reject, because while solving, and this is 100 minutes paper, right? 100 question, 100 minutes. So while solving reasoning, the maths portion, people generally take the question onto their egos. So we should know which question to attempt, which question to reject. But rejection will not matter in this case because we don't have negative marking in this paper. But otherwise, we should be very, very clear with our concepts and shortcuts. In English also, we do have shortcuts and concepts. So if I look at RCs, people generally take this part, the entire verbal actually lightly, and out of in the verbal, the RCs, oh, we can solve it easily. Just we have to read a couple of paragraphs and answer a couple of questions. Had the situation been so easy, there would not have been so much of the competition. So what is it? Reading is actually an activity part. And comprehension, the very important word in it is comprehension, means understanding. It's very important. Without understanding, believe me guys, you'll not be able to attempt even single question. So please do not write on, who's writing on this screen? Please do not write. Comprehension means understanding, right? It's very important. So 2 myths about reading comprehension, guys. Generally, people think that it's a kind of test of speed reading. And those who read the passage at a lightning pace, they'll not be able to understand anything in the given passage and they'll lose comprehension and will not be able to score well. 1. Second, the myth in our mind is that reading comprehension is equal to our ability to memorize minute details in the passage. This is again not true. If you focus on minute stuff while solving the RCs, you'll not be able to look at the big picture. So you'll be wasting your time while doing so. So take these two myths out of your mind. Why this section is important? Out of 30 questions you find, you saw yourself that the 10 questions minimum based on this, so cover at least 30% of the paper, and it plays major role in the selection also. Because if I look at non-RC area, either I'll be able to solve or I'll not be able to solve. At least with RCs, I've got one text right in front of me. I can bet on my ability to understand the given text and I'll be able to solve a couple of questions. But if I look at fill in the blanks, agreed that if I'm able to understand even sentence, the context also, then if I'm not aware of the options, meaning of the options given, then I'm gone again. So RC still we can bet on. So the strategy would be proportional to your reading speed with reasonable accuracy. In RCs, my accuracy, our accuracy should be bare minimum 80%, 70 to 80% bare minimum. If you are able to cross 80%, then you are in safe zone. Out of 10 questions you attempt, you should get at least 6 or 7 at least correct. And in case if you manage to get 8 correct, 8 to 9 correct, then you are through for sure. So we need to increase the level of comfort of this language. Exposure to variety is very, very important, because it is not always, you'll not always find your RC to be corresponding to your educational background. If you're from commerce background, definitely you'll be able to understand anything which is based on commerce, economy, or such terms. And if you're from science background, you'll be able to understand the science-based article RCs easily. But they do not focus on specifically science, or they'll just give the RCs to be based on sociology, socio-economic, socio-political, geopolitical, social issues, etc. So exposure is very much required. Vocabulary level, yes, bare minimum vocabulary level is definitely required. No doubt, we only need contextual understanding of the RCs. But in case if I'm not able to understand very important word, and that word is actually around which the entire main idea of the RC is moving, then we are gone. So, and it is not important to attempt all the questions in RC. In case if you are finding yourself confused while solving RCs, so make sure that even if you want to have intelligent guess, then it should be really intelligent. Most of the questions in TISSNET you will find direct in RCs. So for example, if this is your RC, let's say while solving, you open the screen TISSNET 2021, and you find this RC something going like this: this exceeding, trifling, wilting, considering, renting, criticizing, concerning, adopting, fitting, wording, exhibiting, translating, learning, was displaying, notwithstanding, ridiculing, surpassing, boasting, swelling, reasoning, respecting, correcting, erring, touching, detecting, deceiving, arguing, during, debating. So have you understood anything out of this? Samajh aaya? Did you get something out of this? Yes or no? I think no, right? So, but the meaning is very simple. Meaning is this very confusing. Yes, Sagrika. Its meaning is simple. Otherwise, this very superficial grammar is supposing empty criticism over the adoption of proper phraseology to be a show of extraordinary erudition, was displaying, in spite of ridicule, a very boastful, turgid, sullen, stubborn argument concerning the correction of false syntax of the grammar, about the detection of false logic in the debate. But point is, if I extend this particular writing to 3-4 paragraphs, then we are gone. If we are reading for the first time, if I open the screen and test starts and I come across this RC, then I'm gone. So it's very important to expose your mind to different stuff. Include variety in your reading. Generally, Monday to Friday editorials, you will find only politics. So you need to include sociology also in your reading. Social issues, etc. For example, if you come across the lines while solving the grammar-based question, the sentence is something like this: eleemosynary deeds have their incipients intramurally, and missiles of Lignius or Petrus constituency have the potential of fracturing my osseous structure, but appellation will remain subterraneously innocuous. Leave aside grammar. First of all, we are not able to understand these sentences. So again, I'll be gone. So it is very important. Grammar will only work. Our tricks that generally we teach our students will only work if you understand the context. So it is very important. Verbal is just proportional to the context. The more you are comfortable understanding the context, more you'll be able to score well. See, generally people commit this silly mistake of comparing verbal with mathematics or LRDI. In mathematics or LRDI, the input is in the form of numbers, and we apply those numbers or figures given in the question, concept or the formula in our mind, and we get the output in the form of answer as number, and that's how we solve. But in English, the input again in the form of words or sentences, and this would be proportional to your ability to draw inferences. If you're not able to draw inferences well, if you're not able to understand the main argument in the passage well, then we are gone. So we should not compare English with any other LRDI or something like this, because here it is proportional to your understanding, your exposure, your amount of reading as of now you have done. So it's very important in English language. So meaning, for example, these two are idioms. First is charity begins at home. Elementary deeds have their incipients and primarily means charity begins at home. And if I go back to missiles of Lignes Patris consistency, it means sticks and stones can break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Now we should understand the meaning of, we should be able to interpret the meaning of the second line also. Means sticks and stones, you can physically, you can hit me or hurt me, but your criticism will not stop me for from whatever I want to do. So that's a point in understanding. That's why. So guys, if I have to understand RCs, if I want to go a little deep into RCs, first of all, we should know that RCs can be classified as per the length of the RC, means moderate, short, lengthy, as per the subject given in the RC, as per your ability, strength and weaknesses, as per the level of difficulty in the RC, contextual, the words and the subject. That's how we define the RC. So you need to expose your mind to, because a competition is very stiff when it comes to TISSNET, because TISSNET is otherwise an easy exam. That's why merit generally goes very high. Level of difficulty is perception, guys. Sometimes people will come out of the examination centers, will announce that paper was very easy, paper was very difficult. If you're able to understand the RC, if you're able to understand the language, if you're able to recall all the formula while solving the question, paper would be easy. If you're not able to, then it would be either moderate or difficult. So it is only perception. Level of difficulty is perception only. And this would be less in case the amount of hard work you have put in. So it is very important to keep working till we get into the desired college. Do not stop. One key to rapid reading. So speed actually is required in order to maximize the attempt. So guys, always keep in mind that reading is a mental activity. I've seen people while reading, they move their eyes and neck, head like this and this, from this line to, from the start of the line till the end of the line, and they keep on doing like this. So it's a mental activity, guys. You need to keep your neck and head stable. Focus your eyes and mind on the given text. So eyes will act as a sensory extension of the brain and will transmit whatever you're reading to our mind, and our mind will synthesize, understand, will interpret whatever is given to us. So it's very important. So read in groups, guys. Read in groups in order to maximize. Generally, we'll have 2 RCs in TISSNET. So question types. These are the prominent question types you will find in RCs. Main idea based question, very, very important. Unless, no doubt, it's not necessary that you'll be asked main idea, what is the main idea of the passage. But in case if you're not able to understand the main idea, then we are gone. There is a main argument. If you do not understand and what is the main idea, I'll be telling you the definition also, but generally ask yourself what is in the passage. Answer to what is always the main idea. And if you ask yourself why he has given this, why is the purpose or the concern? What is always the main idea? So noun is the main idea, and why the verb is the purpose. Then we have got inference or reasoning. There we all commit mistake while solving inference based question. You already have taken a couple of mocks and you have definitely analyzed your performance also, and you will find most of you going wrong with inference based question and sometimes reasoning based question also. Then we have, sometimes we come across tone based question also, title based question also, vocabulary based question, means implied meaning of any particular line or the word as used in the passage. And then we have got factual or direct questions. And the 6th type particularly is the easiest of all. Believe me, if you are getting direct questions wrong, that means you haven't worked hard. You are just thinking of getting into Tata Institute of Social Sciences, but you're not interested in putting hard work. Without efforts, you will not get anything. So direct questions generally will start with something like this: according to the passage, according to the author. Answer to these questions you will find definitely in the passage. So in RC, retention is required, but do not rely only on your memory while solving RCs. In case if you find yourself confused between 2 close options, please go back to the RC and search the relevant lines. But confusion should not happen at the first place. How to avoid the confusion? It's very important. Generally, while solving RCs, we are able to negate 4 options, and generally we are left with two very close options. So how to come out of this situation? So after reading the question, guys, do not start scanning the options immediately. It's better to anticipate the answer a little, what kind of answer it should have, the question should have, and then scan the option. Believe me, 99.99% will reach the right destination, direction, and the answer. So do not scan the options, because it is for sure 2 options would be very close. In mathematics or LRDI, we have got 1 correct and rest absolutely wrong option. But in RCs, probably we'll have 2 wrong options, but 2 would be very close. And whichever is the right answer is better than that we have to reject. So English is the difference, the second difference between English and the rest of the subjects. It's very important to know this in mind, because people generally find they find this very frustrating, that how come they are able to score well in mathematics, LRDA, etc., but they're not able to score well in RCs, in spite of the fact they are college topper, and throughout CGP 10th class CGP 10, 12th class CGP 12, and graduation CGP 15 or 16 in case of engineering student. But that's how it should happen. So these are the question types, guys. For example, I'll be taking only 2 question types today. Main idea and inference based. So RC process. So what goes inside our mind and what should go inside our mind while reading RC? So normally average reader, what an average reader would do, they'll derive the meaning from written language, our ability to understand the given text. I think we all are at level number 1. But second, constructing the meaning from written language, that is our ability to draw inference, this we have to reach. This stage we have to reach. It's very important to reach stage number 2, your ability to derive inferences. For example, what does it mean? Several studies have demonstrated that readers do not simply perceive, good readers I'm talking about, in the meaning in the text. Actually, the expert readers co-construct the meaning as given by the author. So if you bridge the gap between whatever is written in the RC by the author and you're reaching closer to that, believe me, your accuracy will cross 60-70%. Otherwise, you will always find your accuracy in RCs to be around 40-50%. In case sometimes if your day is fine, then you will be able to reach 60-70%, but more or less the average would remain 50-60, and in spite of all your best efforts, you're not able to cross this mark. So you should know how to co-construct the meaning with the text, your ability to draw inferences. Always ask what and why while reading the passage. Do not find yourself too much engrossed in reading the minute stuff in the RCs. So main idea, guys, 2 tricks from my side to track the main idea. First of all, the definition of the main idea. It is the point actually which author is trying to convince us. It is a point around which the entire story, movie, novel is moving. It's characteristic. It will run throughout the passage for sure. You will find the presence of main idea throughout the passage. If you're watching any horror movie, you will find the presence of horror throughout. I'm not talking about the Indian horror movies. If you're watching any comedy flick, you'll find comedy throughout the movie. It's not that while watching comedy movie, the first 15 minutes hilarious comedy was there, and after that remaining 2 hours it was miserable, kind of horrible horror. It should not be. It will not be the case. So how to find the main idea? Generally, you will find trick number 1. This will work 99.99%. You will find the main idea in the last line of the first paragraph or the first line of the last paragraph. Trick number 1. But if this trick is not working, still you're not able to make out the main idea, then it cannot be a main idea, cannot be a fact or an example. For example, remove all the for a while, forget all the lines which are highlighting facts or examples, data or figures. In remaining lines called author or opinion lines, you will find the main idea. This is 110% foolproof trick technique to track the main idea, because main idea is the idea of the author in the passage. It is not your idea. Your idea is called inference. So that's how we track the main idea. For example, if I say, let's talk about the few planned cities of India. For example, Chandigarh, Jaipur, Chennai. So these 3 are examples. Chandigarh, Jaipur, Chennai are examples. My main idea, my main point of discussion, theme of discussion is we are moving around the planned cities. So it's very important to track the main idea. And second very important type, guys, and here we all commit mistake. The inference. First of all, the definition of the word inference. Inference is actually a conclusion about unknown on the basis of a given fact, on the basis of a given or the known fact in the passage, what it cannot be. While answering the inference-based question, reject these two choices. The answer to an inference-based question should not be a restatement of one of the lines from the passage, wrong option in this case, and it should not be even direct line picked up from the passage, again wrong option. It should be something which is based on. So while solving arts inference-based question, after negating two options, you find yourself confused between two close options, and you find A to be seemingly more impressive and B to be less impressive. But for A, we do not have concrete lines in the passage to draw this conclusion. Then in spite of it being highly impressive, we have to reject option A because it doesn't have any support in the passage. But seemingly less impressive B option has a couple of lines to support this claim, then B would be our answer. So inference-based question should do very carefully, attempt very carefully. In inference is something which is to be drawn on the basis of a given fact. Should not confuse inference with any other option. Now let's check your ability to understand the stuff. So read this passage, and after reading, please write R in your chat box so that we are able to solve. I have picked up only one question, then I'll show you one magic regarding RCs. So read this and please write R in your chat box. You've got 3 minutes to read this. Then we'll solve the question together. Your time starts now. Omkar, you can switch off your camera in case. I think your camera is on. It will hamper your net speed. Okay, read. I'm assuming that my Zoom audience and YouTube audience, I'm assuming that we all have read this passage. Should I assume this? Am I right in assuming that we have all gone through this passage? Yes or no? You can write R in case. There are a couple of difficult words also. Yes. For example, proliferation, rampant, invading, moderately difficult, resilient. 3, fatality. So if you have gone through this small passage, let's solve one question together. Now, question is, the passage suggests that proliferation of ragwort, the wild grass, was particularly ill-timed, means not well in time when this was introduced, ill-timed because good evening, Anuj, and welcome Akshay on YouTube. We have got very solid person with us, Raka Banerjee. Raka, I don't know why your name is looking familiar to me. I don't know where I have your seen. B option, Akshara. Akshara, you are going with B. B. Swapnil. Swapnil, are you from Maharashtra? Same Swapnil? Our old student, Swapnil? No. Okay. We have got one student by the same name from Maharashtra. That's why I guessed. Okay. So answer to this is E. E, the last option. Why it was ill-timed? Because it had consequences for livestock, animals. that were more dramatic than otherwise would have been. Now, how come and why A and B are wrong? What we have been asked. So it's the moral of the story is to first of all read the passage very carefully and to understand the keywords in the question also very carefully. Proliferation means multiplication of rag. What was particularly ill-timed. This was not that its introduction timing was not proper when this was introduced in New Zealand. Why? We have been asked why the timing was wrong when this ragwort was introduced. If I go back, we'll find. So I'm reading the last line. How to close the camera? You'll find Onkar, you'll find camera button on your panel. So switch off that camera button. In case if you're not having any problem, then please carry on. So guys, I'm reading 3 lines. What made matter worse, kharab kar diya, was the proliferation, was its multiplication, proliferation, its spread coincided with the sweeping changes, major changes happening in the field of agriculture in New Zealand. And what was that? The farmers were shifting from sheep farming to dairying. Earlier they used to rear sheep. Now they started rearing buffaloes and cows. So farmers were shifting from sheep to buffaloes and cows, livestock. So why it is problematic? Why it was problematic? Because those sheep, last 3 lines, those sheep can eat it. Ragwort is ghas ko kha sakta. Those sheep can eat it for months before showing any signs of illness. If cattle eat, they sicken quickly and fertility, even death can even result. So that's why it is. It was not properly. It was not its introduction was wrong. The timing was wrong, entirely wrong. Some changes were happening in the field of agriculture, and these changes were not all related to crop or crops. So it took place in the condition that enabled the ragwort to spread faster than it would otherwise have done. So we are talking about, we have been asked the proliferation, the spread of ragwort was ill-timed. Why? Because definitely farmers shifted from sheep to buffaloes and cows. And so therefore there definitely the livestock will start eating this grass also along with the other grass also, because the animals are not so knowledgeable so as to identify between the wrong ones and the right one, the toxic one and the non-toxic grass. So buffalo used to die early. That's why E. So moral of the story was not, the purpose was not to solve the RC or question with you. The purpose is to tell you the concentration that we need, understanding we need, the main idea we need to understand, and to read the question also very carefully. Am I clear to all of you with this question? Yes or no? You can write Y or N. Now the time to yes or no. Guys, tell me yes or no, so that I also move. We've got Lord Ganesha also with us. Ganesh, Lord Ganesh, please bless us all. So guys, magic. Now RC is magic. So read the line in red color only. Read the paragraph in red color. Okay, after reading the paragraph in red color, please write R. Now I'll tell you how to track the main idea. Read the paragraph in red color. Okay, Astha, red. Fine, good, Astha. Right. So it says that if you look at the photograph of our politicians or catch their video clips, you will find their mouths always open. They are always speaking. That is because it is politician reflex action, means they are not able to control themselves to speak at the sight of mic or camera or an audience, even if it is an audience of one. Whenever they come across mic or camera or even audience of one, they'll start speaking. So this open mouth syndrome is such that it is accompanied by complete absence of thought. They will start speaking even without thinking what they are speaking. Now the author is saying, why else would politicians froth? at mouth means बोल के froth lather झाग इकट्ठा हो जाता है, and they want stringent means strict action against soft drink manufacturers and not a say word about their ground realities of our water supply, right? Paragraph first in red color. Now last paragraph in red color, only last paragraph in red color. Furor means controversy. Furor is controversy. Okay, Akshara read. So it says that whatever figure that cola controversy has achieved is to divert the debate from two very real issues. The first, already mentioned in the first paragraph, is the very bad, abysmal means a very bad quality and distribution of water, which is 21st century and 60 years of after independence is a disgrace. The second is the national policy on pesticide fungicide usage. Define the limits of permissible contaminants and how to enforce the standard once they are formulated. Now we are done with the reading. Now, first question. What is the central idea, main idea of the passage? Which one of the following is the main idea of the passage, guys? Now read all the options. We have read only 2 paragraphs. Just keep this in mind. Now tell me the answer option. Absolutely marvelous. Now you realize the importance of the tricks. You will find first paragraph last line or the last paragraph first line. Am I now more clear about the tricks which I just taught you? You all are absolutely correct. That's a part of knowledge. That's a part of knowing tricks, guys. Third, pesticide and colas debate have diverted our attention from real issues of contamination in food articles. That's a part of tricks. Okay, now I'll go back to the passage. Read only green lines. Read only green lines. No, Aditya, it is not first option. Sorry. So just give me 1 second. Aditya, it's not. Soft drinks are not very harmful compared to other food products. This was not the main idea. This was just an example, Aditya. So that's why we have rejected this. And it is not the main central idea of the passage. So read only green lines now. Now I'm reading green lines for all of you. After all, the measure of contaminants, the impurities is taken as parts per billion. That seems like an awfully small quantity. So one needs to know whether 1 bottle per day is harmful or 10 or 100 bottles are harmful. Only green lines we have read, right? Now inference. Which of the following can be inferred? The conclusion that we can draw. Trick number 2, conclusion about unknown on the basis of a given fact in the passage. Swapnil, absolutely marvelous. Yogita, very good. Yes, Aditya, your turn now. So we do not know what. So on these green lines, we can draw this conclusion that after reading this line, we can easily deduce this, that we are not, we don't know what level of contaminated food is actually safe or unsafe. Absolutely marvelous. That's the knowledge of knowing tricks. So that's why in RC it is very important to understand the main argument and to read the factual stuff, or sorry, opinion lines very, very carefully. Okay, guys, we are done with this RCs a little bit. Now, looking at the grammar of your TISSNET on the TISSNET paper. So grammar is primarily dependent on knowing fundamentals. For example, in this question, for the sake of checking your fundamentals, I have underlined couple of words here: high, rings, light, and assault. You have to tell me to which part do they belong. For example, the high is noun, pronoun, whatever it is. The vulture circled high overhead the dying animal. So what is high in this case? Is it a noun or a verb or an adverb or an adjective? What it is? Should know the definitions first. Adverb is anything, it's an adverb because it is modifying circled. Circled is a verb and high is where it is flying, answering where. So high, so it is a verb. Second example, the child gave a couple of loud rings on the doorbell. Second example now we are doing. First is an adverb. High is an adverb. Words which are used to qualify verbs, adverbs, and adjectives. Child gave a couple of loud rings on the door. What is rings? Noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, what it is? No, high is not noun, Omkar. Noun is the name of anything. High is not the name of anything. Where it was circling, ऊपर चक्कर काट रहा था. Where it was moving, so it was telling the place where the action was happening. So any word which is telling where the action or when action happened, they are word. First is an adverb. Second, gave. You will give something which has got some name. For example, child gave me a couple of chocolates, couple of loud rings. Now look at the word rings. Rings is a noun here. It has been used in the form of noun. आवाजें लगाई उसने, ठीक है. Loud rings on the door. So rings is plural here. For plural, we have plural for only two parts of speech, either nouns or verbs. Rings is not a verb. It's not an action. So it has to be a noun. And look at this word gave. He gave me something. Something, it has to be the name of that thing. Name of that thing is noun. First adverb, second noun. Only light vehicles. Now vehicles, common noun. Light is modifying vehicles noun. So noun, this light is an adjective. Third is adjective. The teenager were charged with assault. They were charged with what? Answer to what is always a noun. Charged with robbery, dacoity, extortion, kidnapping. Name of the crime. Name of the crime means noun. So first adverb, second noun, third adjective, and fourth is again noun. So answer is third. So guys, fundamentals. Purpose was not to solve this question along with you. Purpose was to tell you that knowledge of fundamentals is very, very important while solve grammar based questions. For example, grammar. So we shall be starting TISSNET crash course now on 11th of January, guys. And we will be providing you 14 TISSNET and TISSMAT mocks, 50 plus topic wise tests, 50 plus recorded videos, access to GK database, even Telegram discussion group we already have. The URL is this, and the price, the original price is 3,999. But if you press join this batch with coupon code 10TIS, then you will straight away get off, and you'll be charged only 3,599. So this is our idea of mentoring aspirants, aspirants. So correction. So guys, if you look at the correction means the grammar. Correct expression, correct sentence will be correct only if it has got right grammar and right structure, the basics of English language. Most common errors you will come across like subject verb agreement, subject pronoun agreement, misplaced modifier, parallel construction, redundancy, and diction. For example, bread and butter is oblique are his favorite breakfast. Bread and butter is oblique are his favorite breakfast. So what will come? Is or are? Yes, absolutely marvelous. Are you are thinking, but are is wrong because the subject here is breakfast, not bread and butter. So therefore, verb should go with the subject. Now in second example, bread and butter is oblique are costlier nowadays. Bread and butter is oblique are costlier nowadays. Now here are, because here we have got two different subject, bread and butter. Now if I look at his plan and idea is oblique are great. His plan and idea is oblique are great. What will come? Are? You are wrong. It is. The subject, knowledge of subject over agreement. Now these two are different words joined with the help of conjunction and, but they almost have same meaning. When two different words joined with the conjunction and are almost identical in meaning, then the following verb is singular. Is without his plan and idea, his power and influence, his plan and scheme, his authority, his power and authority, all words, different words, but almost identical meaning would be followed by singular verb, not the plural verb. So knowledge of tricks. Now last, for example, the teacher and the leader is oblique are dead. What will come? The teacher. Now you are going with is, but you are wrong. Here are will come. Second example, the teacher and leader. Here you are thinking are, but are is wrong. Is will come. My friend and a doctor. Helps wrong. Help will come. My friend and doctor. Helps oblique. Help me here. Singular. Helps will come. So what's the difference? In every sentence we have used and. Generally the perception is whenever we use conjunction and it is true also, the following verb should be plural. For example, Ram and Sham are going to market. It's grammatically wrong if I say Ram and Sham is going to market. So in every sentence we have used and. but the verb is not always plural. So here article is making all the difference. So when the is used twice, it means we are talking about two different characters. These two different characters equal to Ram and Sham. When Ram and Sham case, plural. Article used only once before two different nouns, it means we are talking about a single guy. The same guy is teacher also, same guy is leader also. Therefore, is my friend, different guy, a doctor. Because of this, a doctor is someone else. Therefore, help, plural. My friend, with no article, the my friend is the same and he's doctor also. Therefore, helps. So these are the only couple of tricks that we teach our students in grammar. For example, two very important tricks. So principal as well as teachers is oblique are busy. So what will come? What will come? We are going with are. Again, I'm afraid you all are wrong. It is. The trick is called FSR. Are you aware of FSR? I'm assuming no. FSR is first subject rule or the farthest subject rule. Here we have joined two different subjects. Subject number one is principal. Subject number two is teachers. Generally, we all go by the nearest one, but it's not always so. Whenever we join two different subjects with the help of conjunction as well as the form of the verb, whether singular or plural, will be as per the first subject. Principal is singular here. We're talking about only single principal. Therefore, is had it been principals, answer would have been are. There are other conjunctions also falling in this category, along with, in addition to, together with, besides, accompanied by, and not, like, with. If you use including as well as, if you use one of these conjunctions, then the verb will be controlled by, verb will be proximity. Astha, this is, we have got only these important conjunctions in FSR. Astha. Then there is one more rule also. It's called NSR. Next slide, just wait. Am I clear with this trick? FSR, first subject rule, and the second NSR. Not only the principal but also teachers is oblique are playing. Now here R will come. This is called nearest subject rule or the second subject rule. Here what we have done, we have joined two different subjects, S1 principal and S2 teachers, with the help of conjunction not only but also. Whenever this is the case, the form of the verb would be controlled by the second. Teachers plural, therefore are. If I remove the S of the teacher, answer would be is. And what are other conjunctions to follow in NSR? Astha, not only but also, rather than either or, and neither nor also. Neither nor also. Am I clear, Astha? Have I answered your question now? So these are only two tricks to check whether the question is based on, if you are dealing with compound subjects, more than one subject joined with one of the conjunction, then either it would be governed by NSR or FSR. That's it. So very important fundamentals. So guys, if you look at the completion part, fill in the blanks. Generally in TISSNET, we come across one blank. Last time we had 7 questions. Out of 37 to 8 questions based on fill in the blanks alone. So one blank, two blanks, grammar based fill in the blanks also. For example, trembling with anger, the belligerent colonel ordered is meant to dash the civilians. Trembling, Asta, have I answered your question? Yes or no? Now, are you clear about NSR, FSR? We have already two tricks. That's how we decide, right? So trembling with anger, the belligerent colonel order is meant to dash. Now we each, no doubt, in the paper you will be given choices also, but it's very important to understand the context. What kind of word will come here at this place, in this place, in the place of blank? Unless we understand what is going on, there is no point in finding the correct option from the given available options. So trembling means shaking with anger. Belligerent means quarrelsome, aggressive. Trembling, shaking with anger, the belligerent colonel order is meant to kill the civilians, capture the civilians, surround the civilians, murder the civilians, shoot at the civilians. It has to be some negative word here. That is one of the tricks that we teach our students. If the connotation, the context is negative, the answer should be negative. So we'll reject any choice which is positive and we'll scan which negative choice word will fit in well here. So one blank sample question only. I'll be sharing two very important tricks with you in this session. Two blanks. The internet is a medium where users have nearly dash choices and dash constraints about where to go and what to do. So guys, what will come in the first blank? What will come in the second blank? Your guess. Anticipation. This is called anticipation. Yes, absolutely marvelous, Akshara. In nearly infinite or many choices and no constraint or minimal constraints. Infinite choices, many choices, numerous choices, and no constraint. Absolutely marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. Now the time to show you two tricks. So it's very important. So while solving the sentence completion question, it is very important to understand the context. See what sentence is talking about, break the sentence into 2 or 3 parts, anticipate the answer, and then scan the option. Do not immediately scan the options. You'll be gone. Understanding the context. For example, desiring to dash his chetty children, Shah Rukh gave them chocolates in hopes it would keep their mouth shut. So what kind of word will come here? My YouTube audience and Zoom audience. People are generally, they are aware of that. In mathematics we have tricks, in LR, logical reasoning, analytical reasoning, we have got tricks, but in English also, verbal also, we have got tricks. Do not assume blindly that English is just equal to your spoken or your understanding of this language. No. Yeah, desiring to quiet his chatty children, shut his chatty children, Shah Rukh gave them chocolate and hope they keep their mouth shut. Very good. Restrain or discipline, Astha, very good. Now guys, tricks. One very important trick that we teach our students, thought reversal trick. So what are these kind of sentences while solving? Fill in the blanks. For example, let's say these are sentence. It's first half and second half. Let's say blank is here. Let's say, assume blank is here. So what kind of these sentences would be thought reversal sentences? In these sentences, you will find second half reversing the thought present in the first half. Means if first half is positive, second would be negative. If first half is negative, second would be positive. And the simplest word to identify is but. If you find but in the sentence, it is for sure that question is based on thought reversal trick. For example, I can solve the question, but you cannot. Or I cannot solve the question, but you can. So whenever we come across the words like although, though, yet, on the other hand, however, but, despite, whereas, on contrary, rather than, it means it is for sure that question is based on thought reversal trick, and we can pick up our answer option accordingly. For example, although I've removed the option from the first example, although tiger is a solitary beast, to solve this question, we should know the meaning of solitary. Solitary means alone. Although tiger is a solitary beast animal, its cousin, the lion, is, what kind of word should come here? Is a dash animal. Although means thought reversal. Yeah, social. Opposite to the word solitary. Solitary means one who loves to be alone. Here has to be social. Very good. Astha, very good. Galaxy, no. Galaxy hasn't answered. That's how it goes. Although is reverse, it has to be opposite of solitary here. Now, for example, in a large group of people, Irenaeus often seemed dash and aloof. Although among her friends and family, she was quiet. Now, although means thought reversal. I'll read the sentence from this part. Although among her friend and family, she is quite dash. In large group of people, Irenaeus often dash and aloof. So here it has to be something similar to aloof in the first blank, because and is used to join two similar nature situations. And here the words are literally difficult. Gregarious means sociable, detrimental means harmful, multifarious means many, taciturn means reserved by nature, vigorous with great force, intriguing means arousing interest or curiosity, reticent means reserve. So it has to be first. Convivial is jovial, friendly, social. So answer is 1. So this question is driven by context also and vocabulary also. Therefore, knowledge of vocabulary is very important. Thought reversal trick. Now thought extender. Thought extender trick now will be very clear. You'll be able to understand. Now, for example, this is our sentence and this first half, second half. Let's say blank is here. In these sentences, you will thought extender sentences, you will find second half extending the thought present in the first half. For example, first half is positive, second will also be positive. If first half is negative, second will also be negative. For example, the simplest word is and. Likewise, we saw in the previous example. I can solve the question and you can also solve the question. I cannot solve the question and you also cannot solve the question. For example, if we find the words like likewise, in same way, for instance, similarly, furthermore, same, just as, specifically, such as, they all hint that question is based on thought extender and we solve the question accordingly. For example, only one example, guys. I'll not take much of your time. Just as television surpassed, first keyword is surpassed, not eliminated, not surpassed means crossed, exceeded. Radio as a major source of entertainment for the nation, it seems. Just as means thought extender. It seems likely, second hint, thought extender, that internet will eventually dash the television. Will also surpass. It has to be surpass kind of word here. So eliminate will not come. Eliminate is to remove. Alter would mean change. Reciprocate is not making any sense. Invigorate is to revive. It's not talking internet hasn't died, so it will not revive. It has to supplant. Supplant means will exceed or will be placed side by side. Supplant. Yes, Akshar. So that's how we go to use tricks, thought extend. There are 3-4 more important tricks also. For each and every topic, we have got bag of tricks. The purpose is to save the time and maximize our accuracy and maximize the attempts. Otherwise, you'll be struggling with your logic of solving each and every question. And in this way, in TISSNET, 100 minutes, 100 question, we have to reach cross 80 marks benchmark. So this is only possible with smartness, tricks, knowledge, and practice. That's why this is a part of strategy, guys. No doubt GK will remain the deciding factor. But what if we are able to score 20, 25 out of 30 in English? And in mathematics, if you are able to cross touch even again 20 plus, so 25 plus 20, 45, you are left with only 35 marks. 30 marks. So GK again would be the deciding factor. So in GK we have got our limitation because GK is so vast that it is very difficult for me to retain the entire stuff which I will be reading for TISSNET. But here the tricks are limited, the syllabus is limited. At least we can maximize our score in reasoning and mathematics, English and mathematics. So keep in mind, guys, if you want to shine like a sun, you want to get into the best B school, history and geography, yes, Akshara, we do find questions based on history and geography, but they are major questions, not deep into history or geography, all major questions. Current GK, so more or less 30 to 40% current GK would be there, 50 to 60% static would be there, comprising social schemes, government schemes, economic data, etc. in tests. So if you want to shine like a sun, guys, learn how to burn like a sun also, because we all want everything best in our lives, but we are not willing to put in the amount of efforts required. Look at Elon Musk. Yesterday, he was declared the #1 richest person in the world. Do not look at his wealth, just look at the struggle he faced. He failed thrice to launch the SpaceX rocket. And let's say we are preparing for TISSNET. Compare your preparation for TISSNET with Elon Musk struggle. Compare your TISSNET preparation with the labor class which started moving during lockdowns from Maharashtra to Bihar or UP on foot. If you compare your struggle with that labor class struggle, do you find your struggle to be more than Elon Musk or labor class struggle? Absolutely no. You just have to crack this minor exam. You already are graduate. You already are smart people. You understand well. You read well. You've got a great mind inside your brain. So why to worry? Just put in your efforts, guys. Do not take any kind of negativity out of your mind. Just focus on your aim and put your 110%. Believe me, success would be yours. That's the only mantra in life, guys. Otherwise, there's nothing in this life. Elon Musk has whatever he has achieved, all because of his brilliant mind and sheer determination. Now, what in place of, let's say, Elon Musk, had we been there after first failure, would have left the company forever. If you're not, I've seen students not able to score well in couple of 2 or 3 mocks without realizing that they haven't prepared well. Still they take mocks and they are not able to score well. They start losing their confidence. So guys, first prepare yourself for the success. Success would be yours. The only silly mistake that we all commit, including me, that we do not prepare for the success ourselves, and we go for it, and we get the failure. So first deserve and then desire. So guys, conclusion: with small input, please do not expect big output in your life. Input and output should be of equal magnitude. So it's time to introspect, guys. Happy learning. Thank you for showing patience till the end. Was I making any sense, guys? The time has come to wind up this session. Was I making any sense? Did you get something out of today's session? Purpose was not to teach you all the tricks in just 1 hour. Purpose was to show you that we have got strategy. We should have strategy and knowledge of doing the things in place in order to achieve something very big in our lives. So was I making any sense, or did I kill your time? Okay, Asta, good. This is only 1 or 2 tricks that I took up in this session, because otherwise there are a couple of more tricks also, guys. So the time has come to okay, all the best, guys. Once again, all of you, happy new year, and make sure that you put in your 110%, not 100, 110%, like Elon Musk, and believe me, success would be all yours. This is very minor exam. All the best, guys. All the best. I'm switching off mic and camera. All the best.